Hey everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Saturday today. It's a lovely Saturday here, and where I live in Ladysmith, British Columbia, which is on the west coast of Canada and on the east coast of Vancouver Island, but it's Ladysmith Days, so a couple of days of celebration, lots of events going on, so I'm going to take part in that this afternoon maybe and a little bit tomorrow, so we'll see what's going on. But I wanted to jump on and make a card. If you watched my live, I think it was last Sunday, I played with the Long Time No See stamp set, which is an online exclusive. And I said I was going to try and figure out how to make a Z-fold card using the little dog so that it's actually the connector piece that opens up. So I think I figured out how to do that, and so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm just going to switch over here and make sure that I can see comments on Facebook as well. Always have to do that. And if you're watching, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're in your craft room today, what are you working on? I've got a couple of cards made for some upcoming projects that I needed to do. And now I can't see Facebook at all, so that's not very reassuring. All right, I'm going to carry on. If you're watching on Facebook, well, maybe that's coming back now. Apologies, because I actually can't see what's going on there. All right, there we go, it's back. Okay, all right, so I'm going to switch over to my desktop and let's get started. So this is the Long Time No See stamp set. It's a standalone stamp set, no dies that go along with this, but look at these adorable, this little dog and the llama or alpaca. I'm going to say it's a llama. I don't know the difference. I know some of you will. I played with that the other day, but the little dachshund is so cute. Now, I had a dachshund when I was growing up. Her name was Cindy. She was a short-haired, red-colored dachshund, and so I'm going to play with pecan pie. Not quite the red color, but that's the color I'm going to do my dachshund today. So I tried to figure out how to make the Z-fold card, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my little dog the length of this connector piece. So let's get started. So the Z-fold, I've cut a piece of basic beige, 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to score it at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And I'm going to wait to score my other piece until I've got it stamped. So the way a Z-fold works is you fold and burnish using your bone folder. Get my bone folder out. Okay, so, and then you fold back. So a Z-fold is like this, and the connector piece is, now I've cut this to be about 2 inches by 8.5. The connector piece is going to go across this way, and the scoring for this one is opposite. So this is 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4 and 6 3/8. So it kind of folds opposite to what our card folds, and when it opens up, this piece opens up. So let's do the stamping first. You need either post-it notes or some masking paper. I decided to use post-it notes because that's what I had handy. Because what we want to do is stamp our little dog so that the nose, the head and the nose are at the right end and the tail is at the left side. And so, and I want it to be right kind of at the edges. And so what I'm going to do is because I'm going to color, let's see, because I'm going to color, I'm using tuxedo black. So I'm just going to position, I really did just barely give myself room for this, but I think I'm good. Okay. So I'm going to put my post-it note kind of right so that when I stamp, all I'm getting is the head and the feet. So we'll do Okay, so I've got my head. Now, the next part I need is this long stamp for the body. And I'm just gonna see where my tail. Okay, so I need about an inch or so. Like that. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stamp the length of this, and you really want to make sure, if you can, is line up those lines so that it's pretty straight. Doesn't really matter if you've got your little sections aren't exactly the right size, because it's okay. All right, and then this is going to go on like that. Now let's see, I need more. So I'm going to put another piece of Post-it note tape. Yep. So I'm going to stamp again along here, because I need another section in the middle. I'm going to make my dog long enough. And now I'm going to stamp just the tail of my dog again. Trying to line this up as much as I can. I don't want so much of it I just want the tail. It's part of the trick to this. Oh, I didn't do very good at all lining that up. I'm going to start again. Sorry, guys. I didn't do that very well at all. Okay. So this is the hardest part of this. It's not that hard. It's just trying to make sure that you line this up as much as you can, so it doesn't look like your dog has a bit of a deformity. And I didn't do as good on that one. I'm rushing here. That's what I'm doing. All right, so I need to stamp this again. Like that. Oh, that's one better. Okay, so let's see if I can get my tail, the dog's tail, a little more lined up than it was before. Oh, a little better. All right. So my lines aren't perfectly lined up, but they're not too bad. So that's going to be my connector piece. So this is going to be a bit of a masculine card. So I'm using Misty Moonlight, Basic Beige, and then I pulled out Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, and Crumb Cake to do my coloring with. So my dog is going to be colored in Pecan Pie. Cindy was a little bit redder than this, but this is light Pecan Pie. So I'm gonna color the whole head of the dog. So you don't always have to color on basic white cardstock. I tend to do that, but I'm actually kind of loving the look of Basic Beige. I'm kind of using Basic Beige a lot these days. So I'm covering the image, the section that I want to color, using the light, and then I'll go and do some coloring with the dark. Alright, don't forget to let me know where you're watching from. I'm not seeing, I think there's something goofy going on with my streaming. Okay, so that's the light. So now I'm just going to go in and just kind of go just a little bit of shading. And then go back over those with your light to try and remove some of the, just kind of move the ink around so it's not such an obvious line. There we go. All right. Now, when I had my dog, we lived in Alberta, which can be very cold, but she did not wear a little jacket like, well, a long jacket like this. So I'm just going to color the stripes. I'm not going to do much shading, if any. I'm just coloring. So you could use your markers for this if you don't have the blends. Or you can just color with your markers. So Misty Moonlight stripe. My dog did not like the cold. She was a little overweight, and so when she would go out, she would drag her belly, and so she would get down into the snow. And then she'd stand there with her paws raised, saying, "I'm not moving. Come get me." And she was happy when we moved to the coast and we didn't get that cold, snowy weather. Like I said, I am just coloring. So this is the longest part of this card. In the pun, the longest time, it's also the longest part. That's the Misty Moonlight. Like I said, I'm just really coloring. And now I'm going to use, let's see, I pulled out Crumb Cake. I think I'm going to use dark Misty Moonlight. So it'll be an all blue jacket. So dark Misty Moonlight and light Misty Moonlight. So I could have gone over the whole thing with the light Misty Moonlight and then just gone back and colored the alternate stripes with the dark, but I'm not sure if that had been any faster. This would be cute for Christmas because there is a Merry Christmas sentiment in it, as well as a happy birthday. So your dog or your llama in red and greens. It's perfect for Christmas. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, I'll bet some whites would really love the snow. They're kind of equipped for the snow. Unfortunately, Cindy wasn't, and then Kenny, which was my most recent puppy, was not equipped for the snow either. Although she didn't mind it. She would get out and about in the snow, but she was white and we would kind of lose her when the snow got too deep. She did have a jacket for the rain. All right, there's my dog all stamped and colored. So you could do it like this, and then put this whole piece along, but I decided I was going to cut this out and make, excuse me, froggy, make this the connector piece. So what you want to do is, so this piece was cut, I said 2 inches by 11. Now we want to score this. So I'm going to score this before I cut the dog out. And the way a Z fold works is, this one I was 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So I'm going to score this one 2 1/8 and 4 1/4 from the left side. So it's the opposite scoring. So I'll score the middle, so I know that middle, at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to turn it and score at 2 1/8 from the dog's nose. So it gets folded. So the card, what you're going to see is only the tail of the dog until you open it up. All right, so now I'm going to take and just fussy cut out my dog. So like as I said, this was a standalone, is a standalone stamp set. So no dies with this. So great for stamping. You can also do some fussy cutting. So I'm just kind of following around, steering the paper. And the reason I scored it before I fussy cut it, it's just easier to get the score lines in the right place because I had the full width, which is what I needed to have. So if I tried to score this now, it might not be kind of in the right spots because it's just a little shorter. The tail and the nose are not quite up against the edges of the piece of cardstock. Okay, so that's my connector done. I cut out 2 pieces of, this is the Country Woods Designer Series paper that was carried over. And so I cut these pieces 2 inches by 5 3/8. So these sections are 2 1/8 by 5 3/4. Maybe I didn't. Maybe, what did I do? No, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So that would be kind of the typical width. So 2 pieces of Designer Series paper, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So if you're going to adhere something on this inside flap, now's the time to do that, because you're going to adhere your connector piece over top, but I am not going to do that. I'm going to stamp something on the inside. And so you could either use dimensionals or you could use glue dots. So I'm going to use dimensionals to adhere my connector. And when you do the connection, you only want to adhere, in this case, the tail of the dog and the head of the dog. And you want to make sure that you've got your piece, so when it folds up, it is on the inside of your card. It's not going to go right edge to edge. but I got that one done. And now I can take the backings off. There we go. Ah, my little dog. All right, so let's put a sentiment on. I've got the happy birthday stamp. And now, okay, so there's, got some misty moonlight. And I'm going to stamp happy birthday. I need to re-ink this. And then I'm going to stamp long time no see. There we go. Make it really easy. Now, decorating, what should I do? I've got some linen thread here. I was thinking I was going to put a little bow around his neck, and I probably could still. Probably should have done this before I glued him on. So we just got enough to get through maybe. I don't know if I can. All right, that's not happening. So let's not do that. But we are going to put some. These are the neutral matte dots that come in white, basic beige, black, and pecan pie. So since I've got a pecan pie puppy, we'll put some of these on. Now I didn't grab a piece of basic white. I do have a piece. Oh no, it's gone. I didn't grab a piece of basic white, and so if you wanted to write a note, you could actually, because this is light enough, where you could put basic white on the inside or on the back of the card if you wanted to. But I'm going to leave it just like that. There we go. I'm pleased about how that came together. So there is my long time no see birthday card, Z-fold. Yeah, I think that's kind of fun. And it really wasn't that hard to do. I just had to get my head around how I was going to stamp it so that it was a long dog. The llama is a little easier because you've got just the head of the llama and then a scarf piece, and then you've got the long piece for the neck. And so it makes it a little easier. This one you have to do a little bit of masking, but it really wasn't that hard to do. Just had to get my head around it and then stamp straight. Stamping straight is sometimes the hardest thing to do. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. I hope you get to spend a little bit of time in your craft room. I will be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and so come join me for a project.